Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside King Arena for this presentation of Wheaton Thunder men's basketball here on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. Thank you for joining us here on this Saturday afternoon. My name's Abram Erickson. I'm here alongside Don Crowder, and we are here for this matchup between the Wheaton Thunder and the Millikin Big Blue. Don, excited to be here for this CCIW matchup, and of course, this is the first game we get to see the Thunder participate in as part of this kind of home schedule that the CCIW is doing this year due to the coronavirus. So these teams faced off on Thursday night at Millikin, and now, of course, they're back here inside King Arena today for the second matchup between the two in just as many days. So interested to see how this one will go. And Don, something we've talked about before is how teams, normally meet each other at different points in the season, whether it's very early on and then very late in the season. They have time to adjust between games and try to work on things and improve over the course of a season before they have another team or they face the same team again. Wheaton came out with a big victory the other night, 82-61, and there's not much time to make adjustments, from Thursday to Saturday.
Yeah, and you mentioned that victory. There's only a couple days in between for Coach Mark Scherer of the Big Blue to make any sort of adjustments, but this is a good Millikin team. They're 0-2 on the season right now, but they have a tall squad. They have an old squad. We're seeing some of these warm-ups and both these teams getting ready to go. Niamey Adom still on fire. He's averaging 28.5 points per game, so it looks like we're going to have another season of the Niamey Adom show, which is all good for us up here in the booth. He's so fun to watch, but I certainly would not count out this Millikin team. They're going to be looking for revenge, taking that big home loss. And of course, both these teams are still rusty, still a little bit confused with how COVID has sort of affected this schedule, but lots of energy. We're going to see how the empty stadium impacts this game as well today. And overall, just very excited for the matchup.
Yeah, Don, I think you make a good point. The loss is all the more fresh in Millikin's mind, being just a couple days ago. So we'll see how that plays into it as well. We'll head down to the floor now for the playing of our national anthem and then be back here for tip-off. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us here on WTSN. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, and if you're just joining us again, Abram Erickson here with Don Crowder on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. Thanks for being with us on this Saturday afternoon for this matchup between the Millikin Big Blue and your Wheaton College Thunder. No player introductions today because there are no fans in the stadium, as we've been mentioning. So to give you a quick rundown of who we've got out on the floor for the Thunder, it's Cade Aliath, Colin Uvegas, Niamey Adom, Luke Anthony, and Gavin Hawkins. For the Big Blue, it's Jarius Ingram, Calvin Fisher, Sam Stitchnote, Scott Goen, and Cole Lawrence. It'll be Aliath and Lawrence to tip it off. And Aliath wins the tip. Adom able to corral it there in front of the Thunder bench before it heads out. And the Thunder will start on offense in this first possession of our CCIW matchup.
And for our viewers at home, maybe missing one of the faces out there, Tyson Cruikshank not starting in this game. Coach Schauer going for a little bit more of a bigs-heavy lineup with Hawkins and Alioth out there. Be interesting to see how that plays out.
Lawrence up top, gets it down low here. The kick out to the outside. That's Stitchnote for the three-point try, and he'll get it to go. Sam Stitchnote opens up the game with a three-pointer for the Big Blue.
And that one looked pretty routine. He's definitely been taking that shot all season long and making it. It's going to be one thing to watch out for if you're the Thunder.
Hawkins on the outside. Anthony not open on the curl cut. Here's a dome at the top of the key. Like Don said, 31 points in that victory against Millikin the other night. Huge game from a dome. Alioth trying to back down, gets it outside to Anthony. His three-point try is good, and it answers the three from Stitchnote, 3-3 here in King Arena.
And Luke Anthony 4 for 5 against Millikin last game. They will not forget that too easily from behind the arc. He gets another one there, and you saw the ball go down low to Cade Alioth. Just opens up the space for Anthony.
Ingram up top, gets the screen from Lawrence, and now back up top to Fisher. Fisher, a three-point try, bounces a couple times off the rim, and then we see a foul. That'll go against Cole Lawrence on the rebound. Loose ball foul, and the Thunder will get it back.
And you'll love to see Luke Anthony down there. He's a guard, but he does have size. He does play football as well. He is no stranger to contact. We're going to see him come in and get that.
Adome bringing it up the floor now, outside to Alioth. Now Adome up top, swings it around to Hawkins again. Hawkins opened the game with a three-pointer the other night against Millikin, throws it away there. Stitchnote outside Fisher, another three-point try. That one is good. And a barrage of three-pointers from both sides puts this game at 6-3.
And Wheaton really does have to watch out for the transition threes. Those are the points that can really take a game out of hand, especially early on in this first quarter. You got to get back, you got to set your feet, you got to find your man.
Foul called here against Millikin. We'll see who it comes on, maybe get a chance to take a look at that. I think it's going to be on 23, Scott Goen, as he tried to go around that screen. His man got out in front of him, maybe just reached out a hand and grabbed him there. Anthony outside to Vegas. Up top now, Adome drives to the left side, finishes with the right hand. Nice layup for Adome in his first bucket of the game. Up top to Lawrence, he's guarded by Hawkins. And now Ingram to Stitchnote once more. Fisher has it up top and goes to Ingram on the wing. Three-point try by Goen. Off the back of the rim. Another foul on the rebound. It's going to stay here as it's a foul against Hawkins.
And I guess just reaching out, he gets Lawrence in an awkward position.
That's going to be something to watch here as Hawkins stands at 6'7". Certainly no diminutive figure, but Lawrence 6'8", 250. Got him by about 25, 35 pounds in an inch. So that'll be something to watch down low. As this game goes on, we see some substitutions, bringing some new players. We see Michael Akinwumi come in, as well as DeMarcus Bond. There's Akinwumi on the block. Goes up and blocked by Hawkins. Good defense there from the senior. Vegas, second leading scorer in the game the other night. 12 points for him. That's a season high. Adome, great spin move into the jumper for two more. Gives the Thunder their lead.
And I think that's one of the most unique things about Adome as a scorer. He doesn't really come up in bunches. He's consistent throughout the half. And by the end of it, you'll see he has 15 points, 16 points, but he's not the type of person to rip off a couple threes and then go quiet. And that's so crucial to this Wheaton team.
Akinwumi down low once more. This hook shot too long, no good. Alioth gets the rebound and the Thunder are out on the break. Across the court to Hawkins, wide open three-point try, and it's barely grazing the rim as Fisher grabs the rebound. Bond up the floor will get a screen from Fisher, works around to the elbow. Goes up top to Akinwumi and then going on the outside. Pump fake there by Hampton, gets him in a wide open jumper, and he will rattle that one home.
And that's a nice move, thinking he's going to take the three. He's been making them earlier on in this game, but he's got Anthony up in the air and then an easy two.
Alioth up top. And a dome, the three-point try, no good. It rims out. We've seen a different start of the game here than we did on Thursday. In the game on Thursday, Millikin never held the lead as the Thunder were up from the very tip. In this one, after a missed three there, a long rebound will come out to Bond. He gets his own. But in this one here, the Thunder have been trailing. Long three-pointer is good for Fisher, and that's his second.
And I think we're seeing sort of the developing game plan here for Millikin. Lots of threes, lots of long rebounds, and that play sort of coming from one of those long rebounds. That's one that Coach Schauer does not want to concede here.
Kicked ball, pass from New Vegas, trying to get it into Alioth, and you can hear even, especially in this empty stadium, how loud the Millikin bench is, and that's something we've seen play a pretty big role in games, as we've seen a men's game here and a women's game inside King Arena. One of the smaller arenas in the CCIW. Some of these teams used to playing in real big, empty arenas. This one pretty small and intimate still, and a bench can really bring some of the energy that fans aren't bringing when they're not here in the stadium. Eddie Scott checks in, as well as Eli Considine. Alioth down low, guarded by Akinwumi. Spins into the lane, puts up a fall-away jump shot, no good. Rebound there by Goen. He'll give it off to Bond to bring it up the floor. 5 minutes gone. It's 11-7. Millikin lead the Thunder as Bond drives inside. Puts up a floater, no good. Vegas soars for the rebound and hands off to Scott. Scott dribble, hand off to Considine. He's got an open lane and is stripped, but foul will be called. It's going to go against Fisher.
Yeah, we're going to see Scott hand it off and then down the lane. Considine, he's a smart player. He's one of those taller guard, forward, hybrid types. And looks pretty good in about 20 minutes per game this season in his sophomore campaign.
Now we see Tyson Cruikshank out on the floor for the first time in this one. Like Don said at the beginning, a little bit of a different look from the Thunder as Adome is trapped down low. Finally gets it off to Alioth. Now outside Adome. Swung all the way around to Considine. Hop step inside, can't get the layup to go. Up high off the board on the tip, and Fisher has it out on the run. Bounce pass down low to Fisher, kicks back out. Hampton over to Goen. Goen's three-pointer is good, and boy, Millikin really benefiting from some open three-pointers in this one. They're up 10 on the Thunder at 17-7. Cruikshank inside the lane, kicks out to Scott. Scott a three-point try, too short. Rebound by Fisher.
And the Thunder giving up a little bit of size on this lineup right now.
Scott on Bond. Bond shakes him free and then is picked up by Considine. Fisher up top, outside to Goen. Fisher gets Considine up in the air, goes past him. Alioth up top, able to disrupt the shot. Akinwumi gets the rebound. There's a block and a shot clock violation. Great defensive possession there by the Thunder, and we've seen some defensive intensity from both of these teams early in this one.
And what was really special about that was it was not great defense initially by Hawkins. He bit for the pump fake, and then the drive was nice, but you see Cade Alioth just not giving up on the play, forcing that shot clock violation.
Thunder scoreless in the last 2 minutes, 14-7 as Cruikshank brings it up the floor. Considine up top to Anthony. Anthony has it tipped away but recovers. Now Hawkins on the outside, up to Adome. Adome, open three-point try. It's a little short off the front of the rim, and Hampton gets the rebound. Bond gets a screen up top. Adome right with him. Pump fake again. Step back three, but doesn't take it. Hampton created some space, but decided to pass it off to Bond. He comes around to cut. Another pump fake sends him up in the air. Gets down low to Lawrence, and Lawrence gets the easy put in. And there's the timeout from Coach Schauer that we knew was coming here at some point. Nice dish.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, that's the perfect, let's have a patient possession. Let's get the best shot possible. Because as you said, couple of pump fakes, couple of step backs even by Goen, but lots of patience, especially by Bond, just waiting for that open look. And finally they found Lawrence down low, and Millikin looking quite strong out there. A couple of threes They're 5 for 7 right now. That's good for 71%. You have to imagine that's a bit unsustainable, but the volume is there. And if they can keep it up, this is going to be a tough game for the Thunder.
Yeah, and this is something that's certainly a little unprecedented in terms of the way the season's gone. Of course, we're only 2 games in, but so far Millikin has shot a pretty abysmal 21% from behind the three-point line. So not something characteristically that they've succeeded at in this season so far, but again, maybe something this team is growing into as the season goes along. Like you said, Don, 5 threes already just in the first 7.5 minutes of this game is certainly going to pull you out in front. It doesn't help when Wheaton's been scoreless for the last 4.5 minutes. Adom will bring it up the floor. Gavin's up top, sets a screen. Out to Considine. Hawkins gets it up top and goes over to Adom. Adom, crossover, slips, throws it away. Pass over to Ingram, and he gets it on the fast break. And tough break there for the Thunder as Adom turning it over on the slip. Outside to Considine. Goes in against Lawrence, spins, and is fouled. He'll head to the line for 2.
Going to see a lot of agility. Picks it up outside the arc. Nice spin. And I'm not sure if that was on Lawrence or Bond, but it's good for 2 shots.
Considine good on the first, and the Thunder get their first points in over 5 minutes. It was a 12-0 run there for Millikin. See another substitution here. Trey Griffey, the 6'6 sophomore, replaces Lawrence. We've also got Stitchnote back out there, as well as Jarius Ingram. Andrew Williams has checked into the game for the first time for the Thunder. Out there with you, Vegas, Hawkins, Anthony, and Considine. Out to Ingram. Ingram up top now to Griffey. Wide open jump shot from the elbow, and Stitchnote's good. Williams to bring it up the court. An 11-point deficit here for the Thunder. Williams over to Hawkins in the corner to Considine. Vegas swings it back around, and now Anthony gets a screen up top. Hesitates for a second and then puts up the 3. That's no good. Considine gets the rebound and is now trapped in the corner. Williams drives inside, puts up an acrobatic shot that's good for 2.
And keep your eye on number 31, Andrew Williams. Anytime he comes in, something happens that's good for the Thunder. Whether he's scoring points or diving on the floor, he's a player you want on your team, and good for 2 more there.
Ingram, no good. Rebound, Considine. Anthony. Ball is swung over now to Vegas. Skip pass out to Anthony. Anthony just has Ingram and really bullies him as he gets his way down low for a power dribble and an easy layup.
And that's that football size right there. He knows he has the advantage. He's got a little bit more weight on Jarius Ingram of Millikin. Drives down, sees the one-on-one, takes advantage of it.
Stitchnote. Got plenty of time to give it over to Ingram. Coming up on the 10-minute mark here of this game. 20-13, Millikin leads. Now he's stuck, has to get it off to Akinwumi up top, and they'll call a timeout. You could hear head coach shouting from the opposite bench to take the timeout as that offensive possession looked pretty stagnant there for Millikin.
And Jarius Ingram we saw reintroduced to the game. The leading scorer for the Big Blue with 13.5 per game. He's only played about 4 minutes tonight, though, of an available 10. And he has not scored yet. So Millikin, the scoring not really coming from the usual suspects here, but they're definitely not going to complain. Up 7 right now on the Wheaton Thunder in King Arena. And you just have to imagine, Abram, maybe the Thunder coming into this game thinking we just had a 20-point game on the road. How much harder can a home victory be? But Millikin showing a lot of fortitude, showing a lot of composure on those 3-pointers, and right now they're up.
Yeah, and I think it shows us as well that even without, time to adjust or time to make major adjustments. Of course, you want your team to get some rest just in between a Thursday and a Saturday game, but as Akinwumi tries to get an alley-oop that goes off the rim, it'll go back to the Thunder. But it also just shows you that every game, you know, it's got to be earned, and it just depends sometimes on how the ball bounces. And 5 for 7 from the three-point line is going to give Millikin the lead here almost every time. So the Thunder trying to claw their way back, still haven't led in this one. They've only been tied once. Millikin's been in control the entire time. New Vegas to Alioth. Running a couple cuts around the elbow, but a wide open three from Anthony, and he gets it in.
And I tell you what, that was an amazing screen by Colin New Vegas. He took out both his man and Luke Anthony's man, and he had the wide open three.
Stitch note down to Ingram. Ingram rounds the corner to the free throw line. Now Stitch note trying to work inside. Another pass to Ingram in the corner. Akinwumi trying to go against Hawkins down low, just trying to create some space. 5 on the shot clock. Stitch note inside. Anthony, good defense and an air ball. Alioth with the rebound.
And what we're seeing a little bit early on here is when Millikin can't get the ball in transition off of a made basket, they struggle a little bit to set up their offense. But see right here in transition, it's going to be Garland. And it's just a bit of a different game. They seem a little bit more confident when the Thunder are on the back foot.
And here we see Ingram kind of going into Anthony. They both tumble, and Ingram not able to get that one to go. No foul called, so it'll go back to the Thunder. But that came off of a huge block by Michael Akinwumi on that Niami Adome layup attempt that started that fast break. The Thunder will get it back, no harm done, and it's 20-16.
And Akinwumi, since he's come in, hasn't really done too much offensively. He's 0 for 3, but on the defensive end, he's shut down Cade Alioth pretty well. Alioth as well, 0 points.
Adome into the corner to Anthony. Anthony pump fakes, gets it down to Cruikshank. Cruikshank up top to Considine. Adome open, but passes it off down to Alioth, and wide open underneath is Considine, who's blocked. The late arriving defender able to get a hand on that ball on the layup attempt. Goin kicks out. Fisher is back in the game. Fisher tied for the leading scorer with 14.3 points per game last season. Seen him hit a couple threes in this one. Pump fake by Hampton and a stutter step. Now out to Stitch Note in the corner. His three-point try is short. Alioth gets the rebound, and now Considine is all alone. Will have to pull it out. It was 1-on-4. Anthony over to Alioth. Now Cruikshank trying to work inside. Gets it poked away from behind, but he's fouled there as he tried to work his way inside the lane.
And Cruikshank, another player trying to get it going here, has not found the basket yet. Despite averaging a little over 13 points per game in the season. He's going to take the ball out here, but certainly a surprise to not see him on the starting lineup in this game.
DeMarcus Bond will check in, and he'll replace Jake Hampton. He's going to be on Anthony, who's been hot for the Thunder. He leads them in all scores with 8 points. Cruikshank off a curl cut, uses his speed to get inside the lane and is fouled on the layup attempt.
And you mentioned that speed. He's one of the quickest players in the conference. Just look at him pick this up. Nice screen set. And he's just going to drive down to the hoop and get it.
8:04 to go. And Cruikshank hit the line for 2. He's good on the first, and we'll have another one on the way to try to close this one into a 2-point game. No good there. DeMarcus Bond will bring it up off of the rebound from Fisher. Adome trying to poke that ball away, almost succeeds, and it goes to Akinwumi and then going. Fall away jumper off the board and off one leg, going a nice shot to extend the lead to 5. Over to Adome now. Up top, Cruikshank. Late arriving defender does nothing to stop that 3-point shot from dropping in for Cruikshank's first points of the game.
And really, of all the Wheaton players, he's the last guy you want to leave open outside of the arc. He's shooting an even 5 for 10, so 50% on the season from 3. He was about that mark last year.
Anthony hustling after the ball, almost knocks it away, and then a nice recovery into the corner, but a wide open 3 from Stitchnote is no good, and now passed up top to Considine. He goes up for the two-handed jam.
And there we go. The ball's out quickly. Two-hander, and look at that. Goen thinks about it, and then he realizes Considine's going way up. Decides it's not worth my trouble.
And the big dunk gives the Thunder a share of the lead here as they're tied 22-22 with 6:48 to go. Millikin calls the timeout, and it's a 10-2 run in the last 4 minutes for the Thunder.
I think part of that a little bit coming from the unsustainable way Millikin is kind of going about their points. As you mentioned, any team that shoots about 5 for 8 from three-point land is going to come out to a lead, but off of a made basket or off of an inbounds pass, it seems like Millikin just struggling a little bit to create from a set play. There's certainly more of a run-and-gun type of offense, and they have succeeded with that. Obviously, they were up by 10 points earlier, and now it's tied based on a couple big shots from the Thunder, but if that's the way you're going to play, you really have to make sure you get points in those scenarios. We haven't seen them succeed in the past couple of minutes. They're 1 for 5 on their last 5 field goals, so a bit of a rough stretch. But if the way you're going to play is run and gun, fast break offense, you need to make sure that everybody's getting down the court.
Yeah, and a couple times recently we've seen those fast break chances be missed. We saw the block by Ekinwumi leads to a wide open a one-on-one situation between Ingram and Anthony. He's not able to capitalize there. We saw a couple other three-pointers not drop. Their percentage now down to 55.6 after they've missed their last 2 threes in transition. So if some of that just starts to go the way of the Thunder in terms of Millikin not being able to really capitalize on some of those opportunities, then you're right, Don. I think the Thunder have done a nice job in shutting this team down from the half-court offense. Lawrence back in the game. He'll be guarded by Hawkins. We've seen him use his size tonight to have his way down low. He gets it at the free throw line. Tries to enter it down low to Fisher, and a foul called on Considine, excuse me.
And I just want to make a little special mention of Colin Vegas, number 10, matched up against Goen, so the leading scorer for the Big Blue. That's going to be a matchup you want to see. Vegas probably the best on-ball defender, I would say, for the Wheaton Thunder. He usually comes in and is able to lock down the opposing team's score pretty effectively.
We saw that against Augustana in a great defensive stretch from him. Goen puts up the 3 there and no good. He tried to draw the foul, and while he's complaining to the ref, Vegas gets wide open and then is fouled.
And that's a nice chase down block. Gets him for the foul, of course, but yeah, look at how high he gets right there.
Yeah, Bond soaring way up in the air, but again, that's the hustle of Colin Vegas. He's right on Goen as Goen attempts the 3, and the long rebound comes out. Goen turns around to kind of make a petition to the referee, and by that time, Vegas is already streaking down the floor. Huge hustle play that's turning into points here for Vegas and gives the Thunder their very first lead of this one, 23-22 with 6:20 to go. We see Goen pulled out of the game here, and it looks like Coach Scherer is going to have a word with him on the back line of the bench there. Vegas makes both to extend the lead to 2, and now the Thunder finally done playing catch-up, at least for now. Ingram has it on the wing. Bond cuts into the corner. Had some space for a moment, but Adome recovers quickly. And now, look at Coach Schauer.
Look at Coach Schauer.
Just
Let's go.
Jumping up and down, a pump fake on a great defensive effort. Violation called against Millikin there, so the Thunder will get the ball back. And now a late substitution for Millikin will force a stoppage in play.
Wheaton on a 7-0 run in the last minute and a half, so Coach Schauer, more than one reason to be excited right now. And in fact, if you extend that, it's a 17-4 run in the last 6 minutes.
Adome bringing it down the floor, screen up top from Alioth. He turns around, he gets into the corner for Anthony. Anthony good on another 3. And wow, we have just seen Luke Anthony shoot the ball so far in this game and in this season. Really impressive showing from him from behind the arc.
And it's really that consistency that is what you want to look for. He shot the same clip, about 42% last season, so continuing off of his great success.
Lawrence goes to Fisher. Fisher works, stepping back behind the three-point line. Short on the fall away. Hawkins, a big rebound over Lawrence. Anthony looked like he was ready to pull that one. Hampton in front of him had his hands up. Goes back to Anthony. Adome makes a cut inside the lane. He gets some room and gets the nice layup to go.
And just without putting the ball on the floor, he knows where he's got to move. He knows where to find those lanes, and he's done that thousands of times. Nice bucket. Bond
will bring it over to the corner right in front of that loud Wheaton bench. Lawrence making some space for himself inside the lane. Hawkins goes up, and I think Alioth got a tip on that ball. Hawkins, nice rebound, gets it out to Anthony before he falls down. Vegas guarded by Ingram, down to Alioth, who's guarded by Fisher on the block. Leans in with that right shoulder, kicked out by Vegas to Adome in the corner. Anthony will take a deep three, and he'll get that one to go as well.
You can't really say much after that. He thought about it. He knew he had the time, and he had the space because he was about 2 feet behind the arc. Let's see this again. A little bit of hesitation, but he says, why not? I'm going to go for it.
Hampton had the hand up, and I'm sure he thought he had closed the gap well enough to contest that shot, but Anthony, after kind of a quick half-pump fake, hesitation, just puts it up and just knocks it down. 10-0 run in the last 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Good for a 10-point Thunder lead, and boy, have we seen a swing in these last 7 minutes wherein a 20-4 run has taken place. And Don, this is the Thunder functioning on all cylinders here, really behind the lead of Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony coming out, his senior campaign, he's no stranger to leadership. One of the star players of last season, of course, and you know, we talk about that shot. Those are one of those things where it's kind of unblockable in the sense that Luke Anthony, if he's going to take that shot and he's 2 or 3 feet behind the line, you kind of have to let him have that as a defender. But if he adds that to his arsenal, I know we usually see him in those corner three type scenarios when he's coming around, but if he can add that long three, that's just such a dynamic element to his game. He's going to stretch the floor so much, and of course 14 points tonight. He's been on fire.
And now the tides have turned between these two teams, and it's the Thunder shooting at the 5 for 10 clip from the three-point line as Hampton attempts one of his own. That's no good, and that'll make it 4 for 12 for the Millikin Big Blue. Their percentage has dropped down below 35% after such a hot start, and you know that's bound to happen when you're 5 for 7 to open the game from the three-point line. Hawkins looking for Vegas up top, now going back over to Cruikshank. A good cut down low by Anthony. The only reason he couldn't handle that one is because Ingram kind of gave him a shove there as he tried to accept the pass.
Yeah, that's a really good call there. And he actually almost extends his arm and pushes the shoulder of Anthony, who now, of course, is in the bonus here for Wheaton. He's going to get some free throws here.
Off the back of the rim, no good. Anthony hustles in front of the Millikin bench to grab the rebound. Cruikshank wide open for just a moment, but Hawkins can't get it to him. Instead, hands off to Vegas up top. Now Cruikshank gets it in the corner. Down low to Alioth. Backing down against Akinwumi. He's blocked. Ingram has it. It's 2-on-3 for Millikin, and he'll decide to pull it out. Hampton, one more into the corner for Fisher. Fisher over the outstretched arm of Hawkins. Breaks the three-point drought for the Millikin Big Blue.
And that's exactly what you have to do if you're the Big Blue. You see off of that monster block, everyone's getting forward, everyone's trying to fill their lane. Wheaton just not quick enough, and a wide open three leads to more points for Millikin.
Down low, Alioth wide open. Kind of hesitates on the layup and can't get it to go, and then a reach-in foul going to be called against him as he tries to fight for that rebound.
And I tell you what, Michael Akinwumi, right now, he came into the game, Cade Alioth, someone who currently is playing pretty well on offense, 9.5 points per game, starting big man for the Thunder these past 2 years, but he has completely shut him down low. And Again, he hasn't really offered much offensively, but if you're that much of a threat on the other end, that's what keeps you in the game.
Bond brings it up the floor. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. The Thunder lead is 7. Hampton has it up top, works to the wing. Now back to Fisher and over to Bond. A skip pass is no good as Bond tried to get Fisher open for another three.
Yeah, some miscommunication there. And an easy error leads to a turnover. You can't have that right now, down by 7. You want to make sure you go into halftime with as small of a lead as possible. It changes the halftime talk, or changes the outlook on the second half completely based on how you end the first period.
Cruikshank over to Bond. A dome now switched to Hampton. A dome just in and out off the front and then back of the rim. Almost looked like that three was going to drop. Fisher in transition goes back to Bond and looks like they'll set up the offense. Over to Hampton, who's guarded by Cruikshank. A couple right-handed dribbles, gets him to the hole, and a pass across the corner to Bond, who gets a three-point look to drop.
And just like that, 2 quick threes. It's a 4-point game. And it just shows you how easily things can fluctuate based on a couple big shots.
And Anthony, who's out of the game right now for the Thunder, of course leading all scorers and not out there to provide some valuable shooting. Good pass in from Cruikshank to Alioth, but it's blocked and rolls off of Alioth's knee. Let's see on the replay if we can get a better look.
And one thing Millikin has done a great job on is help defense down low. And you saw Fisher just noticing that ball is going to come down. Alioth had his back turned to him, didn't see it coming at all. And a nice play just to strip the ball and then off of Alioth's knee. That's even better.
And just like that, after a 3-minute scoreless drought, Luke Anthony right back into the game. Ingram to his left, past Cruikshank. Hampton has it. Goes across the court to Bond. Bond just put in a three, and now he puts up a wild shot as he wanted to pass to Akinwumi while he was in midair. Realized Akinwumi wasn't looking at the ball, had to throw it up against the backboard. Anthony, guarded by Akinwumi out there now. Certainly a mismatch of some sort, as now Cruikshank gets the pass, and off the side of the rim. That one will go out into the corner where it's corralled by Hampton. We're under a minute now. 32-28, the Thunder lead. Millikin here in the first half. Fisher goes over to Hampton. 15 on the shot clock. Fisher stumbling but gets the pass out before he falls. Hampton outside now to Bond. 10 on the clock. Ingram works inside to the free throw line. Passes back out. 3 seconds. Bond. Jump shot off the rim in the backboard a couple times, but rebounded by Alioth. Shot clock will be turned off as the Thunder have a chance to hold, and you see Coach Schauer with his hands up in the air. Looks like that's what they'll do. Millikin bench loud. They want a big stop here on this last possession of the first half. Of course, it goes over to a dome, and Bond fouls him. He's shaking his head, but there was certainly a lot of jockeying for position on the wing there.
And that just comes with the emotion of that possession right there. You mentioned the big blue. Everyone up on their feet, everyone clapping. You're going to want to be the one that makes that big play, be the one that sends your team into the locker room with a head held high. So a little bit too much eagerness from Bond, but certainly deserves a little bit of credit for the way he's played in this game. Deserves to be a little bit passionate at this point.
And Bond actually not starting this game, but leading the team in minutes with 17 out of the first 20 minutes. He's been on the floor, so certainly been expending a lot of energy out there as well. That can lead to some defensive miscues if fatigue is to set in. Here's a dome. The first free throw is good. He'll earn the second half here of the 1-and-1. 5.7 seconds left, so enough time off of a made shot for Millikin to get a pretty decent shot down on the other end. And there it is. 7-point lead. Hampton will pick it up and race forwards across the half-court line. Stripped away and thrown up too early by Considine. He had time to push it further to the other side of the court, but of course off a steal Just not exactly sure where the clock was at. Either way, the Thunder able to stop Millikin on their last possession and head into halftime here with a 6-point lead. And Don, that's nothing to sneeze at after a really tough start to this game for the Thunder.
Yeah, and I think if you're Coach Mark Scherer of the Big Blue, you're happy about the way that this half unfolded. Obviously, the Big Blue came out of the gate 5 for 7 on three-pointers, led for most of the first part of that first half. And I think what we're seeing is even though this Millikin game plan can be streaky, if it works, it does work. We saw them claw back from a bit of a deficit. They go into halftime just down 6. Could have been a lot worse, but a couple of big shots hit down the stretch. You have to imagine that Coach Scherer is in the locker room right now telling his players, you know what, we know what we have to do. We know what we're about. It's working. Maybe we're down right now, but it could easily come back up. So very excited for the second half. It's going to be a good one. Yeah,
and something that looks a little different, and certainly Millikin in a better position than they were after the half the other night, as they were down by 20. It was 40-21. Certainly they feel like they've got to be in a better position after the Thunder lead was up to 10 at one point, like you said, Don, clawing back to be within 2 possessions here as we come out of the halftime break. So thanks for joining us here for this first half on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. Make sure to stick around for half number 2, as it's going to be a good one here in King Arena. We'll take a short 10-minute break and be back on WTSN.
Recent Wheaton graduate Aston Francis receiving his Jostens Trophy, and Aston has obviously been kind of a whirlwind experience, I'm sure, but we unfortunately didn't have the trophy out here, but it's a hefty piece of hardware.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely extravagant. You know, I'm very fortunate to be able to bring it back to Wheaton.
You've had a heck of a tour almost after the season wrapped up with the Bevo Francis Award and now this. What has the experience been like? Even take us through even the postseason run and then what that's been like after that wrapped up.
Yeah, no, it's just been great to be able to represent Wheaton College and my teammates and stuff, and the postseason experience with them was great. Just getting to experience the Final Four and things like that, and a couple more road trips with those guys. Creating memories that we won't forget for sure. And then after that, getting to meet some of the small college people I met at the Bevo Francis Award and the great people with the Jostens Award has been really cool just to meet them and get to network a little bit and, like I said, represent Wheaton.
So obviously everyone's familiar with 3 years you spent at Wheaton. What was it that really drew you to Wheaton coming after a first year at Tyler Junior College?
I think the faith-based institution is obviously the first thing that came to mind, and that was appealing to Wheaton. And the second thing was just very rigorous academics. So, wanted to challenge myself not only athletically, spiritually, and then also academically. And then the guys on the team, they just have magnetic personalities, guys you want to be around, want to do life with. That was one of the things Coach Schauer sold me on. These are guys that you're going to do life with, and so I'm very fortunate and very happy that I chose that group of guys.
You committed to a team that was 5-20 the year before. Those guys stuck around. Some of them left. Those guys that stuck around got to finish in a Final Four. How special was it? You didn't get to experience necessarily the 5-20, but to see that from their vantage point, how you guys finished on such a high after they started their career on such a low.
Yeah, no, it was very rewarding, I know, for them, and it was cool for me to see because those guys have worked so hard over the past 3 years. So for them to be able to be out there and just experience that, some of the guys who maybe weren't out there as much as we would have liked them to been or they would have liked to be, is very cool for them to get to experience that and kind of come full circle because they did work so hard to get there.
what really sticks out to you from that postseason run? Because obviously, I'm sure everyone points to the 62 in the game winner late in the game against Marietta, but you guys had a pretty special run where you beat some. You had a talented team in Worcester. You had to beat on the road. You had to go through a very good Augustana team for the third time. What was there a moment that sticks out or that feels a little more special than the rest of them?
I think the Augie game was probably the most special. Obviously, personally, it was cool to have the Marietta game in the Elite Eight, but the Augie game will always stick out in my mind because everyone contributed. That's obviously the team we know well. We're going to have to play well to beat them. Packed house, at their place. It's a conference rival, but certainly not a conference game. So that will always stand out because we had just everyone contributed. Everyone played well. It was electric in the gym, so it was very special.
When do you? Most of us will never know what it's like to feel when you know you're on, like Marietta. When did you know that you had it that night? Was it when you pulled up from 27 in the first 5 minutes? Because I think you had 20 points in the bank in about 6 minutes there in that game.
I think so. Definitely had a heat check there where I pulled up, right near the volleyball line, and when I hit that, I was like, okay, I think we may be on to something here. So.
Now, what have you been doing? Obviously, you graduated in May. What's been the process since your graduation up until now?
So I had surgery for a stress fracture that I had actually during the season, trying to get that taken care of, and have just been rehabbing that, trying to get ready for a G League training camp with the Milwaukee Bucks here in about a month. So just working out and trying to make sure I'm 100% for that.
And obviously the Milwaukee Bucks, an organization you can feel some comfort with Tony Bellier in the front office.
Definitely.
And Artie Culver as the G League coach there for the Bucks team.
Oh yeah. No, definitely great to have some familiarity with those guys and to be able to kind of lean on them through this process. So very fortunate to be able to have a chance with the Bucks.
Have you had a chance to kind of soak it all in? I mean, you obviously had the surgery right after, but did you get a chance afterwards to just kind of look back and say, man, that was really appreciate what you guys were able to do?
Definitely. We had a wedding actually this summer of a teammate, Trevor Gunner, who also graduated last year, and getting together with mostly the seniors, but some of the guys on the team. We just kind of got to sit back and be like, man, this was really cool that we were able to accomplish this as a group. So I've had a little bit of time to reflect on it, and it is really cool what we were able to accomplish.
Well, Aston, thanks for taking some time to join us here. Congratulations again on the Jostens Trophy. And again, if you're in the Krauser Sports Complex, the Jostens Trophy is a beautiful piece of hardware, and it'll be on display. I think we might have to build a sturdier trophy case because I think what we have now, that thing's going to take down. That is a hefty piece of hardware.
Definitely.
Again, Aston Francis joining us here during the halftime break after receiving his Jostens Trophy during the halftime break.
Thanks, Rusty. I appreciate it.
Welcome back into King Arena here on the campus of Wheaton College, where we are getting set for this second half matchup between the Millikin Big Blue and the Wheaton College Thunder. I'm here with Don Crowder. I'm Abram Erickson, and welcome into our little perch up here where we are stationed during the COVID broadcasting era here, as we are normally down on the floor, but we got a chance to still do our work from up here in the booth. So thanks for being with us on this Saturday afternoon. Don, we saw a first half where the Thunder we're down for a good portion of that. Millikin had the lead for the vast majority of that half, but then they make a great run with just about 8 minutes to go or so and head into the halftime break with a 6-point lead.
Yeah, and what was cool about that is we saw early on how this game was going to play out. Millikin coming out of the game really hot. As we said, 5 for 7 from 3 early on, and we kind of thought that might have been unsustainable. We were a little bit right, but then that surge at the end, now it's a 6-point game and really anybody's game. So an exciting game so far, exciting matchup, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the stats here, it's really the Thunder who have shined from the three-point line for the second part of that half, as they went 5 for 12 overall from behind the line. That's really behind the strong shooting of Luke Anthony, who's 4 for 5 from behind the arc. He's really the top story of this one, leads all scorers with 14 points.
Yeah, and he's one of those types of players where if he's open, pretty good chance he's going to make it. He's a go-to guy on that cut-around, backdoor, corner hit. Pretty good. But we also saw a couple of shots from a couple of feet behind the arc. So if he can get that going, there's really nothing the Big Blue can do except try and answer on their end with a 3 of their own, which I would say they've done a pretty good job of.
Yeah, we talked about the strategy that we've seen from them, and that's really been that run-and-gun style that you talked about, where they've had some success working in transition and getting open three-point shots, but had trouble when they've tried to set up their half-court offense.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It looks like we're going to see a similar starting lineup to what we saw at the beginning of the game here from the Thunder. They're going to go with Hawkins, Vegas, Anthony, Alioth, and Adome here at the start of the second half. Yet to see who's going to be out there for Millikin, but once again, we don't see Tyson Cruikshank out on the floor, and that's something that we're so used to here as Thunder fans, and he's been such a staple of this team for the last couple of years. To see him, at this point, he put in 9 minutes in that first half. Normally, he's one with one of the most high minutes totals overall.
Yeah, and you can actually see him on the bench. He's got his leg up. We noticed he was working on the bike while he was out. While he was out in the game, so he was on the bike. Maybe a little bit of an injury picked up, maybe a little bit of soreness as well. He does typically play a lot of minutes, but as you can see right there, one of the star players for this Wheaton team in his junior season. Certainly a big hit for the Thunder to not have him at full strength, but so far up 6 in this game, and we'll see how it goes.
And we want to be clear, we haven't heard anything about Cruikshank definitive as towards an injury at all. Just noticed a little bit of limited playing time here in that half, and now see him out on the bench there. But Millikin starts out really looking quick coming out of the break, but Vegas gets a nice steal and is able to work his way inside. Puts it up for an easy layup, and 2 points to start the half for the Thunder. Thunder jump out to now an 8-point lead. Stitch note on the outside, guarded by Anthony. It's back up top to Ingram, who, as we talked about, we really haven't seen make a huge impact on the offensive end in this game after being a pretty important scorer for Millikin throughout the season. Lawrence outside to Fisher. Fisher's shot is tipped. Lawrence trying to recover it on the end line, but saved by Adome, who was able to get it after it bounces in bounds. Kicked back out to Anthony. There's Vegas, and now across the court to Adome. Vegas over to Hawkins up at the top, and now Anthony up top to Vegas. Hawkins, a pump fake there, guarded by Lawrence. Adome tries to get around that screen and get enough space for a shot. Now 5 seconds left. He's going to have to throw one up, but gets a pretty good look off. Rebound to Alioth after the missed shot. Up against Fisher, and an easy putback for Cade Alioth to give him his first points of the game tonight.
Yeah, and you're going to see with these two lineups, Calvin Fisher and Cole Lawrence out, the big men for the Big Blues. So this is a good sort of equal matchup as Wheaton has Hawkins and Alioth out. We haven't seen too much of that equal share of the height in this game.
And look at that, another great defensive play by Vegas to win the ball back, and then he's fouled once again by Goen as he just kind of grabs him around the legs almost as Goen stumbles, and Vegas comes away with the ball.
And Goen, who started off so hot from behind the arc, we said, let's see what happens when Vegas gets put on him, and that's just exactly what goes down. Colin Vegas showing once again why he's an indispensable member of this Wheaton team here in his senior year.
We're seeing a scoring breakdown here in this one, very similar to what happened the other night for Millikin, as Vegas was open underneath, but the pass just too high from Alioth. No one really coming out with huge scoring numbers. Goen had 15 in that game on Thursday night, but then a player at 9, that's Dawson Jones, who we haven't seen. But Ingram, Fisher, Lawrence all at 7, a couple players at 5. Scoring really spread around, not coming from really one source for Millikin, and tonight that's similar. Their leading scorer is Fisher with just 9, and then another offensive foul will give the ball back to the Thunder. Another turnover by Millikin.
And Vegas, that's his second forced turnover. It's going to get Akinwumi on the illegal screen. Not afraid to put his body in harm's way, and once again, Wheaton going the other way.
The Dome doesn't need the screen, and there's the offensive foul called against the Dome as Bond stands his ground and is pushed to the ground there.
Yeah, Dome choosing to not go with Alioth on the screen, and Bond, that's just a very smart play. You know that a Dome is a physical player. You know he comes hard to the rim, just a little bit quicker than him, able to get his feet set, able to draw the foul.
Up top, Fisher, who again is the leading scorer for Millikin. Other than that, Stitchnote has 5, Goen has 5, and then a pair of players with 2, and Bond with 3. Bond gets a rebound down low off of the Akinwumi miss, and then Anthony will pick up a foul underneath the basket.
You're just going to see some nice physical play from Bond. Down low on Anthony. Good hustle there from Bond.
Ingram loses it for just a moment. Fisher, nice pass down to Akinwumi, and he gets the layup to go.
First points there for Akinwumi. He really only had defensive highlights in that first half. If he can get that post move going, another threat for Millikin.
And now for Millikin, every player who has been in the game has scored, and that just tells you a little bit of how spread out this scoring is. Alioth going to tip that one out of bounds, coming off of the missed layup by Vegas. Akinwumi looks like lost a shoe here. He's going to have to take some time to get that back on, but Hampton comes into the game now. He will replace Goen. 17:02 to go in this one. The Thunder lead is 8. It's 38-30. And so far we've seen pretty fast physical play from both sides coming out of this half. On the defensive end, Vegas has really shined in these first 3 minutes, forcing at least 2 turnovers by Millikin. The turnover number is up to 9 for Millikin, just 5 for Wheaton, so a pretty clean game thus far in terms of the turnover battle. Ingram outside to Hampton. Hampton the three-pointer, and that one is wide and an air ball. And that just shows you, Don, I think, how ready and willing this Millikin team is to resort to a 3. That's not a high percentage shot early in the shot clock falling away by Hampton. Certainly a shot he can still make, and we've seen him have success with that in the past, but not what you call a real quality shot, but they want to get the 3 up, and they want to score their points from that part of the game.
And I think what you're seeing as well is there's no deviation from that final execution of the shot, whether it's a fast break or a half-court offense, as you said. You just really get the sense that it's the 3 ball is what they want. And, of course, off of a fast break, it's going to be a higher percentage shot, but even in the half-court offense, and we'll see what happens here, but the 3 is the move.
Fisher down low, guarded by Considine. Outside to Bond. There's another 3 from the corner. He's fouled on the shot. The shot does not go in, but he'll head to the line for the 3 free throws.
Yeah, and Luke Anthony, it's going to be one of those closeouts. Just the moment it happens, you know you were a little bit too aggressive coming in to try and block the shot, but he's going to want that one back because it's really an unnecessary 3 foul shots here for Bond.
Yeah, it looks like Anthony came in just with that forearm a little bit to the midsection of Bond, and he was falling away anyway. Of course, he's going to the ground, and he draws the foul. 10-point lead will go back down to 9. DeMarcus Bond up to 5 points now. That puts him right there with Stichno and Goen. They're all tied for second on the team in scoring in this one. Still trailing behind Fisher, who has gotten all of his points from behind the arc. He's 3 for 7 from behind the line. After starting out pretty hot, he's not has as much success from three-point land. But Bond hits all 3. Puts him at 6 points on the night. He still leads the team in minutes. Considine at the elbow. Goes past Fisher and really just blows by him. Pump fake gets him up in the air. Alioth able to finish off the missed layup from Considine.
And you notice there, Akinwumi had to come over with the help defense. That's going to leave Alioth wide open. Great job by the big man to put that shot back up.
Ingram over to Bond. Now to Hampton. Fisher on the block against Considine. Ingram will try a shot from the top of the key. The lefty three-pointer well short. Doesn't get anything as it falls harmlessly out of bounds.
And 0 for 3 so far, the Big Blue in this second half from behind the arc. And if that's your game plan, you need to start executing a little bit better. Of course, these aren't the most high percentage of shots, not completely wide open, but you've got to start making your shots. The lead is slowly growing.
Tyson Cruikshank back in the game. Anthony takes a three-pointer. That one rims out. Alioth able to almost get a hand on that rebound, but not quite. Bond will bring it up the floor with 15 to go. He's double teamed for a moment. That leaves Fisher wide open. Doesn't catch it, and that prevents him from getting a shot off. He's got to go back over to Hampton, and now Bond will just pull it back out with 15 on the shot clock. Ingram outside. Hampton gets some space. Once again, can't handle the pass. Bond from the corner another time. This one no good. Considine jumped early. Bond cutting to the hole. A nice feed from Fisher is good for 2 more.
How about DeMarcus Bond? You'd expect some players after they miss a 3 to kind of give up, but he sees the offensive rebound, sees the open hole, and goes in.
Considine goes inside, is fouled hard by Akinwumi, misses the shot, but will go to the line, and good dish from Cruikshank, who had just checked in.
And I think he wants the dunk here, actually. He's going to go up hard. Akinwumi, look at that wingspan. There's no room for Considine to move, but does clip him a little bit on the shoulder, and he'll go to the line for 2 more.
Considine been at the line once tonight. He was 2 for 2 in his first trip. Gets the first one to go here. Vegas and Hawkins will check in for Anthony and Alioth. Kate Alioth coming alive a little bit more here in this second half, picking up 4 points after going scoreless in that first half. Still, he's got 9 rebounds, finding a way to contribute other than pouring in the points. He's got 2 blocks as well to go along with a couple assists.
And those assists, I think, highlight a really important evolution of Kate Alioth's game that we didn't really see last year. They're starting a lot of offenses down low in the post. He's evolved a little bit as a passer, I think, and it's just another asset for Coach Schauer to exploit down low.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Don. As you know, we see plenty of times where the Wheaton offense starts up top with Niamey Adom trying to make something happen, or we see Anthony and Cruikshank running off of cuts around the free throw line. But one of the ways that we see the offense start probably just as much is that first entry pass to Alioth down on the block. He takes a couple dribbles. He tries to work his way into his man to create some space for himself, but he's pretty good at, if he doesn't have anywhere to go, finding an open man on the outside, and that's how some of these three-pointers have come. Anthony doing a great job of relocating after an entry pass to get open for the shot. Anytime that Alioth draws a double team is a time that someone's freed up for the Thunder, and he's done a nice job of finding them throughout this one. And like you said, that's a part of his game that we've seen grow throughout his career here at Wheaton.
And he's not the only big man that maybe has a more of an unconventional skill set. You see right there on the camera, big 42 Gavin Hawkins. Three-point threat, especially in the corner, and the space he creates, especially when he sets a screen up high at the top of the arc. That is what kind of allows Niamey Adom and Tyson Cruikshank to sort of exploit those contested layups to kind of get inside, and certainly 2 very talented, very diverse big men for Wheaton.
Yeah, and if you want to add one more to that list, you talk about Eli Considine, who's listed on the roster as a guard. He stands at 6'4", but we've really seen him play more of a big man role, especially when you've got guys like Cruikshank, Adom, Vegas all out on the floor at the same time. Shot drops in for Millikin. The Thunder will hurry their way up the floor and try to set something up. Adom out on the wing. Cruikshank pump fake, gets by going as he slips and puts in a nice floater. Cruikshank getting another bucket to go. Over to Goen, who enters the pass into Fisher. Fisher to Bond at the elbow, and they will reset up top with 12 to go on the shot clock. Akinwumi gets it at the top of the key. Fisher trying to fade into that corner. Takes a long two. Jump shot no good off the side of the rim. Hawkins can't bring it down. Fisher, his own rebound, and a nice little shovel pass underneath the arm from Fisher to Bond for another shot.
And once again, we're seeing Bond down low. I'm really liking this aspect of his game. He can make threes, but he does not give up on the play. You'll see him chase after offensive rebounds. You'll see him chase down for blocks, and right there, right place at the right time, and a nice pass from Fisher for the easy layup.
Hawkins to Cruikshank. Cruikshank puts up the jump shot. It is short. Constantine fights for the rebound, but it pops out to Fisher. Bond is now up to 10 points on the night. He just trails Fisher by 1. He's got 11 for leading scorer, but we haven't mentioned yet, Bond just a freshman for this Millikin team and really been one who has played well in this one. Hawkins going to be called on the foul there on the entry pass to Akinwumi.
Yeah, and there was a lot of physical play. It was only a matter of time before a call went either against Hawkins or for him, and just right there, not really what you're allowed to do, is it?
Nope, that'll cost the Thunder a possession here as it'll be inbounded by Goen. We had Alioth and Anthony check back in there, and just like that, a quick foul from Cade Alioth. He's someone we've seen get into foul trouble in the past. Today, that's just his second. Shouldn't be too much of a concern just yet. He's on Fisher now, who again is the leading scorer for this Big Blue team. Alioth loses him for a second, and he gets to the corner, no good, and now another foul called. This time it does go against Akinwumi.
Yeah, and there you go, the other way around. Just two physical big men. It's been fun to watch for sure. And Akinwumi's going to push him to the ground. Wheaton up 7 right now. Millikin looking a bit more lively, especially with Bond playing the way he is right now in the second half, but lead is still into the 2-possession game.
Anthony will bring it up the floor. He's been the lead scorer for the Thunder, 14 points on 4 of 6 3-point attempts. There's the pass into Alioth to start things off. He's double-teamed there by Hampton, freeing up Anthony for the 3-point try. Off the front of the rim, Hawkins with the rebound. He's doubled as well. Gets it out to Cruikshank. He's wide open for a try. Can't get it to go. Tipped up by Akinwumi and brought down by Millikin. Bond up top to Fisher. Akinwumi trying to make space down low. Over to Fisher, and Akinwumi works his way up to the top. A skip pass out to Hampton. No good. It's an air ball as Cruikshank was right in Hampton's face. I think he overcompensated with Cruikshank arriving and just put way too much on it.
And still with that air ball, not a reset of the shot clock, even though it is still big blue ball underneath, so 9 seconds to get something going.
12 minutes left to go in this one, 46-39. The Thunder lead. Comes up top. Fisher pump fakes a full 7 feet behind the arc. Bond works inside off the glass for a nice move against Vegas. Adome brings it up the floor and goes over to Alioth. Hawkins, big physical push there against Fisher. Adome comes off the screen, gets another one from Alioth, and a long 2 is no good. Alioth comes down with the rebound and puts it back in for 2 more. Big physical play from Cade Alioth there, as he was the only Thunder player in the vicinity. Goes up and gets it over 3 Big Blue players. Puts it back in easily. Fisher caught in the corner. Has to take a couple dribbles to get it over to Hampton. And now Akinwumi back over to Stitchnote. Stitchnote onto the block, goes it to Fisher. Fisher can't really corral it. And wow, there's just some physical play underneath. A foul called. Let's see if we can see where. I don't know if we're going to have a good chance of seeing where this one came in, because there was plenty of wrestling for the ball underneath.
Yeah, not sure who that was on. I think you also could have said maybe a travel somewhere along in there, but Certainly depends on when the foul came up.
Akinwumi no good. That one hard off the back iron. We see Dawson Jones check in for the first time in this game. He is a 6'7", 210 junior, right in that size category along with Hawkins, who stands at 6'7", 215, and Akinwumi, who's 6'7", 205. So those three big bodies going to be working to take up space in the lane on both ends of the floor. Anthony comes to get the handoff up top, back over to Adom. Anthony gets it again up top. Hawkins now in the wing, guarded by Jones. Adom. Wow, just a nice move inside. Can't get it to go, though, after we see a flop warning. And that goes against 14 on Millikin. You hear the referees say that is Sam Stitchnote. I think that was on the move that made him fall to the ground. I think he was trying to draw an offensive foul from Adom. We saw Bond successfully draw one earlier as Adom kind of lifted that forearm up. I think that's what Stitchnote was looking for. Instead, he falls down, allows Adom to get to the basket and picks up a flop warning, although certainly didn't lose everything there as Adom couldn't get the ball to go in, and Millikin will start from their end with it back.
And I think the referees now just having a bit of a dialogue with the Big Blue coach, and maybe Coach Schauer in there as well, just making sure everyone gets everything right.
We've seen things get a lot more chippy in these last couple minutes. And Cole Lawrence is back in the game, which certainly means that could continue. He's the biggest body on the floor. Hampton enters it into Jones. Good double team by Hawkins. Jones forced to get it back out to Hampton. Lawrence over to Stitchnote. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Stitchnote, pull-up jump shot. No good off the front of the rim. Adom with the rebound. Cross-court pass to Anthony. Wide open. Short. Hawkins gets the rebound after it bounces off of two players, and he's called for the travel as he falls down. Couldn't get the ball out of his hands fast enough before he hit the floor.
And that's one of the most frustrating things. If you're a basketball player, you get the ball, maybe you lose your footing, and as you're falling down, your last thing to think of is, I'm currently holding the ball. If I touch the ground, that's a travel, but certainly the right call from the officials, and Big Blue escaped with one there.
48-41, still a 7-point lead from the Thunder. Haven't been able to extend it at all, as this has been really not a good couple minutes of scoring for either team. The Thunder 1 for 7 in their last field goals. Millikin 1 for 5, and a timeout called by the Big Blue is, I think this is going to be a good couple seconds for everyone to gain their composure after a couple sloppy minutes of play.
Yeah, and I think as a viewer, as a commentator, whatever, you're trying to pick up on trends of the game, and what we've seen these past couple minutes is on either side of the ball, just low percentage shots and a lot of physical play. You mentioned it's starting to get a bit more chippy, and I think that's coming from a little bit more of inside play, specifically from Millikin. We saw DeMarcus Bond get, I think, 3 straight field goals from inside the paint, a couple of dishes, some nice dishes from Fisher as well, but we're seeing a little bit of a deviation from what we think is the Millikin game plan of sort of a more run and gun offense, and I think it has been working a little bit better for them, but in this time that Wheaton has also been struggling, they needed to cut the lead a bit more, maybe to a one-possession game. Obviously, 9:46 left in the game. Still a lot of time for either team to pull away with this one, but as far as trends go, Wheaton really struggling in the past couple minutes, but they have shown a lot of composure in their last 2 games, especially the one we saw at home against Augustana. We know that they have scores. We know that players like Luke Anthony can certainly pick up where they left off earlier in the game.
And Don, I think, a lot of some of the more physical in the paint type play we've seen is just coming as a necessary result of the fact that neither team can get their outside shots to drop. After a hot start from behind the arc from Millikin and then a really hot middle portion of that first half for the Thunder, both teams now shooting pretty poorly from the outside. 29% for the Thunder, 30% for Millikin. And off of a shot that almost, oh, look at this. Miscommunication as Alioth tried to inbound it to Adom, but Adom was not ready. Stichno inside the paint. He's going to go up, missing the layup. Alioth able to get that one. And now Coach Schauer, hands up in the air, just saying settle down after an unforced error there. Luckily, doesn't turn into another basket for the Thunder. Considine over to Odom. Odom triple team down low. Alioth tips it in.
And how about that? Big Cade Alioth, he never gives up on the play. Long arms, just is able to almost volleyball swat that one in, and a nice touch.
Bond trying to go to Hampton. Everyone doing a nice job of denying the ball. Vegas on Bond. 6 seconds. Another possession that goes deep into the shot clock. Hampton over top of Cruikshank. A nice three from Hampton.
There you have it. That's the first three either team has made in this second half. We've had 12 minutes of play and just 1 3. Both teams combining to be 1 for 12.
Odom spins inside the lane and he's fouled there. And easy call by the official as he's spinning and picks it up there off Stichno.
Yeah, you can see Stichno just trying to rise with him, trying to get the tip block, but gets him on the arm instead. Odom a little bit too quick for him.
Odom good on the first shot. Now we've got a substitution. That's going to be Goen, who's going to come back in the game for Bond. And Bond, some much-deserved rest as he's just been a hard worker out on the floor for Millikin. Again, still leading the team in minutes. The freshman really been an important part of this defense and offense for the Big Blue. Going over to Fisher. Fisher at the top of the key. Gets it out to Stichno, and a foul going to be called. Looks like it's against Goen, and things haven't gone Goen's way since the beginning of the game. He's been called on some fouls like this. He's also had a couple of turnovers that have certainly hampered his ability to contribute here in the second half.
And Wheaton bringing back in Luke Anthony. You see him, or you will see him in a minute in the corner. He's had a relatively quiet second half. He has not scored yet, despite being the leading scorer from the first half and still the leading scorer in the game. 4 for 8 from three-point land.
Vegas over top to Alioth. Hand off to Odom. Odom crosses over with Jones on him, gets inside the lane, and he's fouled. Can't quite get the floater to crawl over the top of the rim. But look at the shake and bake move there to get past Jones.
Yeah, he's so quick and so smart as well. Just is able to see where everyone is down low, and that's going to be the 4th foul as well on Goen. So we'll see what happens from that.
We're seeing a little bit different, again, look at the offense for the Thunder, as for much of this game it was running through Anthony. Everything was about getting Luke some shots, and that, of course, worked for the time. Since then, he hasn't had as much success from the line. He's now 4 for 8 from behind the line, but we've seen the game really play through Odom's hands in these last couple minutes, much more so than we did earlier in the game.
And I think as well the short departure of Michael Akinwumi just has freed up Cade Alioth a lot. He's got 8 points after going scoreless in the first half, and he also leads all players with 12 rebounds, still 2 assists, and then 2 nice blocks as well. So he's come alive a bit in the second half, and just like you said, him and Odom really keeping Wheaton atop. It's been about a 7-point lead for the past 5 minutes, I would say. Neither team really wanting to either pull away or cut into the lead.
Yeah, and things have stayed, relatively steady here, like you mentioned, since that start of the second half. The Thunder came into the half with a 6-point lead. At one point, they got it up to as much as 10 here about 4 minutes into that second half, but since then, Millikin has continued to hang on and simply won't go away. And, the Thunder trying to escape this one, move to 3-0. Got a little bit of time here to talk about the schedule and some changes that have been made coming up here. The Thunder were scheduled to face off against Elmhurst in their next 2 games coming up this next week. Unfortunately, those games have been postponed due to coronavirus concerns within Elmhurst's program. but the Thunder still able to pick up 2 games to replace those 2, so they'll still have the chance to play just as many games. Things just changed a little bit as on Tuesday, the Thunder will travel to North Park for 1 game against North Park, and then on Thursday, as an alley-oop comes up to Akinwumi, he's fouled. That came from Ingram outside. We'll see a replay of it here.
And we saw this play earlier from a direct inbounds pass, and yeah, just covered completely. Not sure if that was on, I believe it was on Anthony just coming under him.
Like I mentioned there, the second game that will have replaced that second Elmhurst game will be a game on Thursday night, the 4th, against Carthage. So the Thunder, number of games they'll play will stay the same. Opponents have just changed, and dates changed a little bit as well. So it'll be North Park on the 2nd and Carthage on the 4th. Free throw missed there by Akinwumi. The Thunder get the rebound. A dome on the wing over to Anthony. Now Alioth will hand off to Cruikshank. Cruikshank stepping back. Doesn't have enough space to pull the shot off. Now Anthony into a dome at the elbow. Has to kick it back out. Anthony a long 3-pointer. No good. Short. Wrestled away by a dome. A dome wants to pull it out with 15 left on the shot clock just to settle things down a little bit. Alioth up top now to a dome. 9. Cruikshank takes the shot. No good as Alioth, trying to swat that rebound back into play. Ingram able to bring it down. 7-point game with 6:40 to go. Foul called there.
And the ball's going to go down low. Fisher, who has had a little bit of a quiet second half, you would say, just going to get caught behind by Vegas. Good call from the ref.
Considine going to come in for Cruikshank, changing the makeup of this lineup just a little bit, as now rather than 4 guards out there, it's really more like 3 now with Vegas, Adome, and Anthony. Both Considine and Anthony kind of playing at that guard forward slot. It'll definitely be Anthony at the 3 now with Considine at the 4. Another missed free throw, but a long rebound comes out to Akinwumi. Going up top to Fisher. Outside to Ingram. Stitch Note runs off a cut at the top of the key. Nothing going there. Fisher puts that one up. No good. Ball batted around a couple times. Akinwumi's on the floor, and then the Thunder quickly cover him up. I'm assuming we'll see a jump ball here, but no signal from the referee just yet. There it comes. It'll go back to the Thunder due to the possession arrow. And that's just some more hustle play from both of these teams as Akinwumi dives on the ground, but as soon as he made contact with the ball, 3 Thunder players diving right on top of him.
And I've certainly been impressed with Akinwumi. I think he's been one of the better players for Millikin tonight. And you can see him, he's just on Cade Alioth once again. And as we mentioned, a really important part of Wheaton's game plan tonight is get the ball to Alioth, let him sort of start things off down low. But Akinwumi's such a big force in the paint. It's definitely going to make that a little bit more difficult.
Anthony up top, pump fakes and splits 2 defenders, gets inside, passes it off to Adome, and a nice, easy 2 points.
Well, that's what happens when you're identified as a 3-point threat. Anything you sort of try and throw out behind the arc, that's going to have people jumping, and Luke Anthony sees the lane, sees the dish, and finds a dome.
Foul on a screen there will give the ball back to the Thunder.
Yeah, just the moving screen there from Fisher. And it's actually his first foul in the game, which is surprising given how physical of a player he is.
And you know, it's Vegas who picks up that foul, and we've seen him pick up a couple now as he tries to run around those screens. And I think one thing that allows him to draw some of those fouls is just how tightly he sticks to that man. A lot of times a screener is going to try to just cut off the defender at the last possible second to try to free up his man, but Vegas sticking to the hip of his offensive player so much that anytime a bigger player tries to set the screen, it sends Vegas flying. Out to Adome, 3-pointer, and Adome getting a 3-pointer to go finally on his 5th try here, able to put one in. He's 1 for 5. It's good now for 13 points. And now the Thunder lead is up to 12, the largest of the game. Hampton, three-pointer. It was wide open as Vegas fell down, trying to get around another screen. He didn't get the call that time.
Yeah, motioning a little bit to the referee, but Hampton, who had a nice step-back three over Cruikshank earlier in this game, makes good on the open look.
Another foul here. That one's going to be against Jones in the middle as Considine tried to cut in. Just over 5 minutes left to go in this one, 58-49. Considine can put the lead in double digits once again. Considine good on both. That'll put the lead back up to 11. And time continues to wind down. Bond is back in the game. Hampton over across to Akinwumi. Bond now in the corner. Adome sticks with him along the top of the key. A foul goes on White this time. It's on Anthony.
We'll see him come around. Yeah, he just gets Akinwumi with the leg. And that was a really good screen set, and you can't really try and topple your screen like that. You have to go around. Good call from the officials, and Millikin in the bonus, so they're going to go to the line.
Akinwumi 0 for 3 from the free throw line thus far. And we've talked about how important of a player he's been in this game, especially in this second half, but in a lot of ways that aren't going to show up on the stat sheet. He's only got 2 points in this one. He does have 6 rebounds that he's chipped in and a couple blocks as well, but really I think it's his presence more than anything that has affected the Thunder down there on the block. There's the free throw. It's good. Pulls Millikin within just 10 points. Short off the front of the rim on the second. Rebound comes down to Alioth's feet. Cruikshank now to bring it up. 60-50, the Thunder lead is 10 with 4:40 to go. Adome gets a screen from Considine. Works back to his right. Oh, creates some space, but no good on the shot. Great crossover dribble to get Fisher off of him. Bond up top to Fisher. Fisher outside going. Akinwumi had created plenty of space for himself, but the pass is no good. Bond able to pick it up before it goes out of bounds, and then after it's battered around once more, Bond has it up top with 10 on the shot clock. Outside to Hampton. Hampton dribbles in with the right hand. Cross-court pass to Bond in the corner. Bond, no good. Tipped up again, and let's see. A foul here. We're going to see. It's going to be against Akinwumi on Alioth, and you see official took a little while to signal there, but Alioth knew it from the start that that foul was going the other way. He'll head to the line for 2 shots.
And just as a bit of a side note, Luke Anthony to the bench with 4 fouls there. Has not scored in the second half. Nyamie Adome has taken over the top spot for Wheaton with 18 points on 6 for 16 shooting. He also has 3 assists. That's a team high. And 32 minutes as well, a team high.
Alioth no good on the first shot there. That little break that we just saw was the official checking with the scorer's table to make sure that it was actually going to be 2 shots, make sure that the Thunder, in fact, were in the double bonus. They are, so here's Alioth's second, even after the missed first, and it's good.
And also have to mention Michael Akinwumi with that foul is at 4, and that's an even bigger problem if you're the Big Blue. He's down low. Him and Cade Alioth have had such a fun battle, but such a physical battle tonight.
Going kisses in the corner. Works to the free throw line. Looks like they're trying to free up Hampton along the baseline for a 3-pointer. Vegas right on him. Skip pass into the corner to Goin, and he was out of bounds on the sideline as he caught that pass.
And you can see him walk back looking pretty dejected about that one. Just not what you want to see in crunch time here. Down 11 with just over 3.5 left in the game. And the Thunder just looking a bit more confident now coming up, and Anthony is back in the game with those 4 fouls.
Here's Alioth. I would assume they're going to go right at Akinwumi. They do, and he doesn't pick up the foul, but allows 2 points for Cade Alioth.
And that's great because we see Cade Alioth in the warm-ups without any change every single time. He puts up probably 20 of those shots. He gets a couple of the Wheaton players to help him down low just to practice that hook finishing move, and he gets it there.
Wow, Fisher, a deep 3. After he was quiet from behind the arc for a while there, he gets one to go once more, which cuts this lead down to 10 after it had crawled its way up back to 13, which was the largest of the game just a moment ago. So with 3:24 to go in the game here, we've got a 10-point game on our hands, and this really, as a second half, has been similar to what the first half was like, just flip-flopped. As you know, really Millikin was out in front, kind of up by that 7 to 10 point margin for most of the game until kind of maybe 6-8 minutes to go in that first half. That's when the Thunder made their run, overtook the lead, headed into halftime with a 6-point lead, and then since then it's been all Thunder. They haven't relinquished their lead at this point, and it's continued to hover between those really 6 and 13 points. It currently sits at 10, but just got to hang on for 3 more minutes in this one to pull out their 3rd victory of the season.
And I think that's a great point. Both teams, they have been up by about 7 to 10 points, but they can't put the other team to rest. Neither team is able to pull away to put this game out of reach, and I think that's what the Thunder really have to focus on right now. If the game is not put out of hand, and really these next minute and a half, if Millikin comes up, makes a couple big shots, maybe reduces this to a 2-possession game, then we're going to get into a fouling situation. And the Thunder 78% from the line in this game, so they must feel pretty confident, but you do have to wonder. This is the moment for Wheaton.
And the Thunder have had plenty of guys go to the line tonight, where on the other side of the ball, just 4 for 9 for Millikin, and only 3 players have seen the line. Fisher's 0 for 1, Akinwumi's 1 for 5. Bond has been the lone steady player there. He's 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Cruikshank gets it down to Alioth, and Ingram going to be called for a foul. That's just a matchup that's too good to pass up. You see Cruikshank needs to get it into Alioth there with the 5'10" Ingram guarding him, and Ingram just called for the foul there.
And you know, seeing that on the replay, I'm really not sure what Ingram did to force Alioth to the ground. Looked like the pass maybe was just out of reach for Cade Alioth, and he had to kind of go to ground to get it, but he's certainly not complaining, although Ingram definitely seemed a bit frustrated about that call.
Alioth got on another free throw. 64-53, an 11-point lead as we work our way down towards 2 minutes here. Hampton has it outside, tries to get it up to Fisher. And let's see, we do get the right call from the official. We have a nice vantage point up here and can see that that one easily tipped off of Fisher's hand after it tipped off of Considine's. And after a moment of hesitation, referee makes the correct call.
And that's a play for Millikin that's been executed, I think, about 4 times, but neither time has led to a basket. One time it led to an Akinwumi foul that I believe he missed his free throws on. So not really sure why they keep going to the long alley-oop play, but this game is at 11 points and there's only 2.5 left to play.
Adome over to Cruikshank. Cruikshank, a pump fake, gets him some space. Works inside, puts up a floater, and a blocking foul called against Bond. Looks like he was probably just within the charging circle there. I guess we'll get to see.
And I love that. You can see it on his face as he just prepares for this great leap. He's going to attack the rim. He's going to go physical. And it works out for him in the end. Anthony
going to head To the bench now. Considine will come in. We got Vegas, Cruikshank, Adome, and Alioth out there. It's Bond, Fisher, Ingram, Hampton, and Akinwumi. Cruikshank rims out the second free throw. 12-point lead, 2:12 to go. Fisher, pump fake, gets Considine's hand up in the air, but he doesn't bite on it. Now outside to Hampton. Hampton, step back, another three-pointer like we've seen a couple of those tonight, and the ball will stay with Millikin after it goes out of bounds. We've seen Hampton make those and miss those tonight. That one was close, couldn't quite get it to drop. Foul looks like going to go against Vegas. I'm going to send Hampton to the line.
Yeah, Hampton just coming through a little bit too quickly. Maybe Vegas caught on the back foot, but regardless, it's the right call, and Millikin in the double bonus here.
Hampton good on the first. Considine will check back out, and Anthony will come in. We've seen those two trade places a lot here in this game. Looks like that might be something that continues as it gets kind of into an offensive-defensive situation here with fouls for both sides. Now we see some full court pickup. Cruikshank, always cool under pressure, as the one bringing it up while met full court by his defender. Anthony over to Adome, and Adome over to Alioth. This is a situation where we're done, of course, shot clock, or game clock, excuse me, on your side if you're the Thunder. Want to use up as much of the clock as you can. Adome, step back shot off the crossover, and he gets it to go.
And that's exactly what you want if you're Coach Schauer. I mean, you spent the whole shot clock moving around, you had players going, you had space, and then about 10 seconds left, you get it to your best player, and he gets the shot.
Hampton, a deep three, and we have seen Jake Hampton really make some difficult shots throughout this one. That's his third three of the game. Down to a minute now. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Bond goes for the steal, and now here comes the double team. Anthony into the corner to Vegas. He'll pass up on the shot and get it back over to Adome. Adome cutting through defenders, getting to the lane. He misses the layup. Tipped away by Vegas. And now Hampton into the corner to Ingram. Ingram goes up top. Anthony kind of has to get out of the way there with 4 fouls. Akinwumi misses the putback attempt. Tipped out, and it'll go back to the Thunder.
And I tell you what, Abram, we might not be able to get a replay of it, but Colin Vegas, when the Big Blue got that rebound, he rose just enough to tip it, and DeMarcus Bond was streaking wide open for the fast break. I mean, those plays are just made by one player and one player only. Colin Vegas pretty much saving a 2-point possession right there. His smart thinking. He didn't even get possession, didn't get the ball, but he just made them spend 1 extra second, which allowed the Thunder to track back and prevent that fast break opportunity.
We'll see another full court press situation here. We'll see if it's more of a trap or just a man-to-man pickup. Looks like it'll just be Adome bringing it up against Bond.
And you got to foul at this point if you're Millikin. I mean, the shot clock and game clock, there's about a half-second difference.
Looks like they're just going to let it run out.
Yep.
Thunder probably won't have to put up a shot here. And they'll just let it go, and the Thunder will get the win here inside King Arena. 67-58, a 9-point victory over Millikin to put them to 3-0.
There you have it, 3-0 on the season, 3-0 in conference as well. Of course, this season is conference only. And it looks like we may possibly see one final possession, as there was a bit of a lapse between the shot clock and the game clock. I'm sure that this is going to be a simple pass in and a call of the buzzer, as there's still a bit more confusion. DeMarcus Bond is waiting, and he's laughing a bit.
It looks like they're just trying to get 1.2 seconds back on the clock to then have run off.
It looks like right now it's at 12.0 seconds, but they want 1.2. There we go.
Certainly not going to change the outcome, but we jumped the gun a little bit there. This will make the win official for the Thunder.
And that is it. So 67-58, Wheaton taking control of this game, getting the victory, and certainly an exciting game to watch, one that was a fair battle on both sides as both teams led by as much as 10. And we love to see these conference games, but now we're going to send it to the floor for Abram with Coach Schauer.
Coach, congratulations on your victory. Your team moves to 3-0 after the win tonight. How did you feel about your team's play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty pleased because here's the thing. We've now, this would be our 4th game if you count the scrimmage, and everything came easy the first 3 times, right? We scored. It was simple. We got out to leads quickly and kind of just massaged from there. Here we got behind by 11. You know, we obviously have Tyson who we weren't even sure was going to be able to play today and kind of gutted one out a little bit. And what I'm proud of my team is this is kind of an old school win because if you only give up 58 points, you don't have to play that well to win. And we struggled offensively. This is the first time in a long, long time you've played 2 games in 36 hours. I thought that looked like it for both teams, to be honest. And I think I'm still kind of learning how to manage that, right? I mean, I used to do that way back when, but really since we've been to Wheaton, we don't do that very often. Where you have a bus ride, a lot of times you might play back-to-back nights, but at the same location. That's different than the travel. So I was really impressed with them, and they fought really hard to give themselves a chance. But yeah, we're pretty good. We'll see. We'll just keep trucking along here. Thankful to have played another game, and just really like my team. There's a lot of fight to my team.
Of course, some changes in the schedule. We're excited to see you guys back out on Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah,
maybe. All right. Thanks, Coach. All right, the Thunder get the win tonight, 67-58 here inside King Arena against the Millikin Big Blue. They move to 3-0. That's overall and in the conference. And as you heard there just a moment ago, expected games here on Tuesday against North Park. That game will be away, but then back here on Thursday at home against Carthage. So if you want to see the Thunder back in action here in King Arena, come check us out on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network here on Thursday night. Once again, for everyone here at WTSN, thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Abram Erickson. Have a great day.